Crafters. In tonight's video, we're going to be making a slim birthday card using the Racing by Photopolymer stamp set. And we're going to make our own background paper using the Distressed 3D embossing folder. I want to thank Diane Evans for the inspiration for this card. She made hers as a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card, and I'm going to be using it as a slim card. Hi, I'm Joan and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan Simple Papercrafts, found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now let me turn the camera down so we can get started. I want to take a few moments to talk about our latest promotion. It's the Designer Series paper sale. Between August 6th and August 31st, you can shop select Designer Series paper from the 2024 to 2025 annual catalog at 15% off. This is the perfect time to stock up and save on some of your favorite paper. Here's the card that we're going to make tonight. And I got this idea from Diane Evans. It caught my eye because of the colors. And I thought, I want to see what other colors she does. And then I thought, oh, I want to make it a slim card. So I tried this with some scrap paper I had, some retired paper. But I made it the choice so that if you wanted to make it similar, you could use the blueberry bushel. That's this color here. And the lemon lime twist to get those same colors. And the card we're going to make, we'll use Racing by. And we're going to use this stamp, this stamp, this stamp, this stamp, this stamp, this stamp, and this stamp. And then we're going to use the Simply Said for the inside of the card, this stamp. Then we'll use the Distressed Tile 3D embossing folder for the front of the card. And then for the die, we're going to use Stylish Shape dies. The rest we're going to have to fussy cut. So let me get this out. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do our embossing. When you heat emboss, you need to have it dry and set up as well as when you're using the stamp. We're going to stamp the car and the flags and the tires on the car. And I'm going to find our stamp. Here we go, the Versamark. And we're going to use basic black for the embossing powder. And I have a holder for the stamp, but we'll use that when we do the other stuff. You'll just have to deal with this noise here. So I have this piece of paper here, and this is 2 1/2 inches by 4 inches, and that would be 6.4 centimeters by 10.2 centimeters. And this basically was a scrap piece, and I picked it to get this thing stamped on it. You probably noticed I can't stamp and talk at the same time, so I'm going to do our ink first, and I'm going to do it up here and right here, there, and then we're going to just get this on here. I have a new work surface here. I moved my office so that I can have a larger desk, and now I'm trying to get as much space, and so if I go off camera, I'm sorry about that. Just about. Okay, and then one more thing I want to do is I want to stamp this on the tires. And let's see if I can do it without messing up. Sorry if my head's in the way. I need to get in here to make sure that I'm on top of the tire. Same thing here. Okay, then we're going to just put that back on here again. All right, and we're going to cut this out So I don't care that there's black dots around here, and then this is going to be stamped over the top of it. So I don't really care about those inside there. But I don't want to have too many in there, so I'm going to try and get some of these off them here. Okay, I am going to just stamp again. Now that looks much better. I'm going to go with that. And then I'm going to clean these off right now. I'm going to use my Stampin' scrub. And I've been using it all day today, but of course I have the ceiling fan on here, so it's been drying it out. So I'm going to have to spray it with our Stampin' Mist. This right here. And I'm going to spray this side here because that has a raindrop on there, so I know that that's going to be the wet side. And then this will be the dry side. And I'm going to just stamp these off on our paper first before I do this. That gets the extra ink off. We'll do this one. So those are good. And before I go any further, I am going to get this black powder off of my work surface here. Then we're going to bring this back out here, and I'm going to use these tweezers. This came with the embossing kit. It has one of these in there, and it comes with this brush, this here, the tray that you could use it to put your powder on and shake over, and I can't think what else it is. I thought there was 5 things there. That's what comes with that kit, and I'm going to use our embossing tool now. This is our heat gun. I'm going to turn it on high. It'll be loud. I'm doing the back side first. And then I'm going to turn her over and start on the front. You can see it's starting to get glossy. I'm trying to get a good look at that. I'm going to set that aside to let that cool down now. Okay, next we're going to bring in our cardstock, and this is Peach Pie, and we want to cut this at 8.5 inches by 9.25 inches. Let me get our trimmer. So we want to cut this at 9.25 inches by 8.5 inches. And so I'm going to have to put this arm out. This trimmer has a lot of features on it that I like. This was one of them. You have up to 17.25 inches here, or that'd be almost 44 centimeters. And then you have 2 blades on here, and they're in a track here so that you don't have to take one off in order to cut or to score. So this gray one is a scoring blade, and this one is the trimming blade. But I added a 3rd blade, this one here, and I wrote glitter on it. So when this one got dull, I put glitter on it, and then I added a new blade. And then I like these having centimeters and imperial. Okay, well, we need to have that open to do the 9.25, and that would be 23.5 centimeters. And then the next we need is 8.5 inches. And I am going to cut it because it's often off by a little bit. And I am going to cut it just in case this one's off. And so this should be 21.6 centimeters. And it took off this much. And then we need to score this at 4¼ inches or 10.8 centimeters. And we want to score, so I'm going to move that blade down. And I'm just going to go up and down to get a good score line there. And then we're going to fold it and burnish it. Oop, and it looks like I still have some residue on here, so I'm going to try this and see if I can wipe that off. That might have been from when I was blowing it, maybe blew it off my paper. So this will have to be the front because this is on the back and I don't want that to stay on there. Then the next piece we're going to want is our white, and this is going to be cut at 4 inches by 9 inches or 10.2 centimeters by 22.9 centimeters. I already have it cut, and you want to cut 2 of those, one for the inside and one for the outside. And I'm going to take this one and we're going to stamp it for the inside sentiment. And we want to have "Let's Celebrate" as be the inside sentiment. And I got that from the Simply Said. And we'll use our green, going to be called Shy Shamrock. And this is part of the glass package. So you get this rubber mat, and you get that cloth that I was using earlier. So I'm going to just center this, and I can center it on this card here. This is 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches, or 8.9 centimeters by 21.6. So that's what I was thinking it was 9 inches. So 8 inches would be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.5 inches. So that'd be 1/4, right about here. And then I want to get that lined up right to left. So you can use this grid. There, that's much better. And I'm going to stamp off. And then we have our ribbon. There. Okay, that's for the inside of the card. And I think we're done with this. And we will put it in this way. And we want to leave 3/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. The reason I went down here first is because I had flipped that paper over and there was just a little bit of edge here that was raised up. So I just flattened that. Okay. So next we need is that second piece of basic white cardstock cut at 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches or 8.9 centimeters by 21.6 centimeters. And we're going to put the car on here. We want to stamp that card. And I was going to use this tuxedo black, but I see that it was dated from 23. So I'm going to do a new one because I did have some trouble with that card. Let me see if I can show you. See how the ink is uneven there. I had re-inked this a couple different times and I must not have leveled it well enough. And so when you try to do second generation, third generation, you get some of that. It's not what you want it to look like. So let me see if I can't get this open for us. And I am going to date the back of it, but I can do that later. We're going to go ahead and get this inked up. And we're going to stamp it somewhat in the center. And I want to have that lined up like that. And we'll stamp it in the center. So that is my first generation, and then I want to do a second generation, third, and fourth. It looked like a car speeding through there. Okay, I'm going to cover that up for right now. So we come back to this. We are going to finish this right here. We're going to use this for the inside. And we've got our stamp here. And that's rather juicy. And I need to line this up. Sorry if my head's in the way. That worked pretty good. And I am going to stamp this off. And then next we're going to do is we're going to take our peach pie marker and color this in. Well, I don't have the peach marker, so I'm going to use the dark pale papaya, which is retired, but it should look like the peach pie. And I'm going to use that nub end, and we're just going to go through the flame here. Okay, and we're going to do this here, these stripes on the back of the tailgate. And then we're going to take the peach pie, so that's going to be right here, and we're going to stamp the head of the driver. And we're going to get it right here. Hopefully I'm not in your way. And I think I'm going to go over that one more time. And hopefully that'll help darken that up a little bit. Because this is dark already, so hoping that I can apply it a little bit more. That looks good. Okay. Then we're going to do our fussy cutting. So I will do these flags first. I'm going to leave about 1/16 of an inch for a border on all sides of what I'm cutting. And the one above it hasn't been totally hardened with the heat, so I just put my finger in it and it's smearing. So I'm going to wipe it off in this cloth again, and I'm going to knock this off from here as well. Not too bad. And then I'm going to, so what I want to do is I want to move the paper and not the scissors as I'm cutting this. There's number one. Here's number two. And I'm just going to cut this out so I don't run into any problems with this one. And then we're going to cut out this card. Doing the same thing, 1/16 of an inch for a border. And I'm just going to go up here around the head. And I just need to come back here and go inside by that steering wheel and by the front of his face mask. There, that's good. Let's get our Shy Shamrock out. And this is cut at 4 inches by 9 inches. And that's 10.2 centimeters by 22.9 centimeters. And I want to dry emboss this. And we're going to use the Distress Tile embossing folder. And I'm going to get this out of the way. We're going to get our cut and emboss machine. And we're going to use plate number 1. And we're going to use this formula right here. That's plate number 1 and plate number 4. And so we're going to use the dry emboss folder. As you can see, the paper's longer than what the folder needs. So we're going to go 2 passes to get this done. And I'll show you how we do that. We're going to put the folded edge in here. And then I'm going to put this in here as well. And we'll crank this out. Obviously didn't do it all. So we're going to then flip this paper around. Try to match it up as close as you can to the tile. There's a pattern here. I'm trying to get it on the pattern. Okay. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit. So I'm thinking I've got it there. So I'm going to fold this shut again, put it back in here. And I don't want to really press past what we've already done already, so I'm going to stop it right about there. So I stopped it by putting it right about there. That's the 4 plate. This is the edge of the embossing folder. It's not pressing this part because there's nothing to press it down. Then it's going to look like this. I can't really tell where we left off here. Maybe a little bit through here. So I must have matched it up pretty good there. So with that done, then we want to put tape on here and the back of this to put it onto this card base. I'm using tape because of being a 3D embossing folder. I don't want to have all that extra 3D imaging, not have it stick properly. I could use white glue and just make sure that I've got lots and lots of glue, and then just have to make sure that it's dry. But I like using the tape, and then I know it's done right. And I'm just burnishing those with my fingers. And I'm going to go on all 4 sides and in the middle at an angle. And I'm using these scissors instead of my snips because these I use for when I'm cutting things that have glue on them and any kind of adhesive. And let me just get these put away so we don't end up losing them. Okay, so next we want to use is our take your pick tool to pull these backings off. And that's right here. I'm going to pull this first back off. It's one of the good uses for the Take Your Pick tool. Another one is using it for those dimensionals, pulling that paper backing off. But there's some other tools that you can get for this. There's an add-on for the tools. One is a brush, and then there's another add-on kit. I think that is a rotary cutter. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. This tool comes with these two. That is for using with your scoring tool. And then it comes with this. That is a gummy surface to pick up paper backings. Oh, I don't have anything. Oh, here we go. Like that. Okay, one more piece. So we want to put this down, leaving 1/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. And I'm going to burnish it with my hands first. Then we'll open it up and we'll burnish it on the inside because we don't want to press this and lower that 3D image. Then next we can come in with our white, basic white. And then I'm just going to look to see which way we want to put this. And we're going to leave 1/4 of an inch to the edge of the green. So that'll be a total of 3/8 inches to the edge of the card. And I'm going to burnish it with my fingers again because we don't want to press on that embossing surface. And I'm going to do it from the inside of the card just to make sure I got paper, contacting paper. Then we've got a couple more things to go yet. So what we're going to do next is we're going to cut our little black strips. So we're going to take some scrap of basic black here, and we're going to cut it at 1/8 of an inch. So 1/8 of an inch. 1 and 2. And then we've got this, and we're going to glue that onto our flags. And flip our flags over. I'm going to glue this one first. And I'm going to get my silicone mat so I don't get glue all over the place. It's bad enough having that powder all over the place. Don't want to have the glue all over too. So I'm going to do this first. There. And then we're going to do this one next. So what we do is we're going to put dimensionals on the back, and we'll use a big dimensional on each one. And I'm going to put it in the center there because it seems to be bowing there. And then I'm going to put it above this tire here. And I am going to cut it right about here. So we have it right about there, and I'm going to cut this next one. So we're going to have it right above this tire, and I want it, I'm going to bring it down here so I can see what I'm doing. I think I need to cut a little bit more off. There. And we'll take this off. Probably have to take a little more off in here too. Then we'll add 3 dimensionals on the back of this, maybe even 4. Again, we're using these bigger ones. Put them in the tires. 1 in the head. I could use my Take Your Pick tool, that would work a lot easier. And 1 right about here. And we're going to just pull these backings off from here. I think I got them off of the rest of them. And we need to get that right on the top of that. So excuse my head here. There. What I need to do next is to die cut our banner for our front sentiment. So let's bring our cut and emboss machine back up here. And we're going to need it's our number 1 plate. We're going to use this pattern here. So we need a number 1 plate, the number 2 plate, and 2 3 plates. These are 3s, but they've been used so much you can't see them anymore. But they work just fine. And then we're going to take this, and then the die we're going to use is the second largest banner die from Stylish Shapes. And we're going to just put it up right here. And then we're just going to crank it out. And let's get this off of here. There. And what we're going to do to this is we're going to use our Versamark one more time. And we're going to stamp it with the sentiment saying racing by to say happy birthday. And then we'll use our black embossing powder. I'm going to stamp this up again. I want to center that on there. Good. Then we will put it in here. I'm just going to dip it in. And we'll use our tweezers and our heat gun again. Just checking to see if there's any strays. Couple here. Let me see if I can't get them out. And I see one right here. And I see one up by racing too. There. I think that's good. We will use our heat gun again. So then we're going to put our dimensionals on the back of that. I want to pull this down a little bit quick. It seems to be cool. We'll do one up here, one down here. Should have used the small ones or cut these in half, but that's okay. And we'll put one in the middle. And then we'll set it right about here. So all we have left to do is put our embellishments on. And we're going to use these Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock Foil Gems. And we're going to use the Petal Pink. And I'm going to take this large one here. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to move these smaller ones up toward the top. There, I think we've got it. I was going to say we're done, but as I'm looking at the card, I can see what I've missed. I forgot to stamp the tires on the shadow image. So we'll do that right now. So we're going to take ink, Memento ink, and we're going to stamp off here. And then I'm going to bring it in. Got to get in here, make sure I've got it right. It's 2 generations, 3 generations, and 4 generations. Much better. Now I can say we are done. All right, let's get our other cards back in here. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it. Would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendar. I'll be back in 2 weeks on Sunday, August 18th at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be doing something from the new annual catalog. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.